Hey everyone, it's Kelly from OCALI back again to talk about autismcertificationcenter.org. And today we're going to be talking about something that might not apply to everyone, but it is really helpful for those who want to complete our work as a team or as a group. And so this is specifically going to be talking about group and organization functionality within our online learning management system. So first off, you'll come to autismcertificationcenter.org as you normally would, but there's going to be a little bit of differences in terms of whether or not you're an administrator or whether or not you're a participant. And so in order to get started with the group and organization functionality, what you'll want to do is reach out to our team at acc_info@ocali.org, and we would help you actually set up the organizational account within our system. Once you have that, and we've invited you or a facilitator to the LMS on our online system, then you would then have access to that organization account within your actual ACC account. So I'm going to show you what that means right now. So you can see right here, I'm on the autismcertificationcenter.org homepage. Everything looks the same. And my name is right here in the right-hand corner. I'm going to click on it. And then you'll see Organization Administration right down in the middle. And it says Example Account Tutorial. And so that's just the example that I made for this specific video tutorial. And you're going to click on that, and it'll bring you to the organization's page. And so within that, you'll see a couple of different things. Example Organization Tutorial is the main category. And so that would be, your business name, your school name, whatever your organization is called, that's totally customizable. For right now, we're just that example organization. Below that, you'll see that I've also created a subgroup. And so in our little scenario, maybe I'm a school and there are different buildings within that school. And so that group A would maybe be building A or classroom A or team A. Again, that's totally customizable depending on how you'd like to create your setup. But this is just giving you an idea of that simple structure. So you're going to have main organization, and then you can optionally have subgroups within that organization. So the first thing that you'll want to do, say you're a new administrator and you haven't necessarily invited anybody yet and you want to get that started. So you'll go to the example organization main box here right at the top, and you'll click on that link. And that'll bring you to the users page of your main organization. And so this is the overarching organization. And maybe you don't want any subgroups and you're just going to invite everybody to the larger organization. That's fine. And so if you'd like to do that, then we have an invitation section over on the right-hand side. And you'll see that it'll say up at the top what your subscription is. So we are on Foundations Ohio, and that means that we have that many phases of autism as well as the 3 10.5-hour courses that are divided by age. Down towards the middle of the page, you'll see invited users. And if we had invited anybody, this is where their name would show up. But we haven't yet. And so we want to click on either public or private. Should you choose to select private, which is the second tab, this allows you as an administrator to invite individual people to your group or organization. So it's very important that when you talk to folks and you tell them that you're going to be sending them a link to their email, even if they already have a pre-existing Autism Certification Center account, they need to directly click on the link that's in their email. Otherwise, they're not going to be connected to your group. And so if they have a pre-existing account, they may need to use a separate email address for this invitation. The best way to do that is to just let people know to look in their inbox and to let them know that there's going to be a link coming to them, that they have to create a unique account based on that invitation. And that link can't be shared with anybody. And so each individual person you'd like to have connected to your group, your organization, will need to have their own unique invitation based on their own unique email address. again, without clicking on that link to create their account, then they won't be connected to your group, and then they won't be able to be monitored by the facilitator or administrator. So once you have all of your emails gathered from your staff members, you'll put their individual email addresses separated by a comma in this box below, and then you can preview the invitation and send it. That will go directly to their inbox. If it doesn't happen to show up, you might want to suggest that they check their spam or their trash or their junk folders. Sometimes people's settings are a little bit different. And so you'll want to make sure that that has arrived for them and that they click on that link to create their account on the ACC website. The other tab is the public tab. And so this is common for quite large organizations or organizations that they've specifically requested they want to kind of hand out some of their subscriptions as a first come, first serve basis. That is something that the details that you'll work out with the ACC support team member who is walking you through the organization setup. But a public invite is limited by the number of invites that are established during your organization account creation. And so say you receive 50 invites for a subscription, and the system will keep track as those links are used. And so once you hit that 50 mark, that link will no longer be active and there will no longer be any subscriptions available to folks. If that is something that you are interested in, particularly if you live outside of the state of Ohio, mention that to your ACC support team member and they can explain a little bit further. So the other tab that's up here on the right is the Administrators tab. And so that's where you'll see likely your name or whomever is acting as the administrator of the account. That will be the first invitation that goes out, and that will be from your ACC support team member to you. You'll receive it in your inbox, you'll accept it, and then that will grant you access to do all of these other fun things within the system. You'll see down towards the middle of the page that there is something called group administrators. And again, that refers back to whether or not you want to have kind of like those subcategories, if you have separate classrooms, separate buildings, separate organizations, however you want to organize your overall organization within the system. If you want subcategories, this is where you would invite those group administrators. So there is a link here that says invite group admins to example organization, or that would be your organization name, of course. You'd click on that. And again, very similar to inviting your staff members, you would enter their email address and they would click on their invitation directly from their inbox. And they would then become administrators of that particular subcategory, the classroom, the building. You can also give them permission as the overall administrator. Whether or not you want that particular person to be able to complete courses, to manage the administrators, to manage groups, or to manage invitations. View user stats is kind of there by default, and that will allow them to kind of monitor the progress of the staff members or group that they are responsible for. So you'll send that invitation, it'll go to their inbox, and then they will be members of that group admin section. So you'll have, again, an overall organization administrator, and then you'll have group administrators should you choose to organize your organization that way. If at any time you have any questions, you can go back up to the overview panel by clicking the overview link, and that will show you how you are structured so far, and you can get into the subcategories should you like just by clicking on the name. So I'm going to click on Group A. And then that'll show you the exact same panel, but again, you're within the specific subcategory. And so this is where you would invite specific staff members of a classroom or a building, and that would be that particular administrator's responsibility. If at any time you decide that you want to change the group name, you can go over here to the settings link on the right side, and you can click group name and you can enter a new group name, and then you can save it and it'll save. And if you have any questions, of course, you can always reach out to us. We are typically available by email the fastest. And so we try to respond to all of our emails within 12 to 24 hours. Of course, we're not in on the weekends or on holidays, but typically during regular business hours, we try to respond as quickly as possible. And our email address is acc_info@ocali.org. So that's it for today. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us, and I will talk to you soon.